Donald Trump has sicked his Justice Department against the woman that he was held civilly liable for sexually assaulting. We're talking about E. Jean Carroll, and Trump's Justice Department is now investigating her criminally. Remember that she accused Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her in the Bergdorf Goodman department store. Defeated Trump in court multiple times, won a multi-million-dollar judgment against Donald Trump after he was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. And now she is being investigated by Trump's DOJ. Here's a report from CNN.
Exclusive and breaking news right now. The Justice Department, CNN is learning, has launched a new criminal investigation into one of Trump's enemies, E. Jean Carroll. Now, E. Jean Carroll was the former magazine columnist who accused President Donald Trump of sexual assault. Ended up being that he was liable for sexual abuse. The source is telling CNN that the investigation now is focused on whether Carroll committed perjury during her two civil lawsuits against the president. Paula Reed is breaking the story, and she's out front. And Paula, what else are you learning about this? I mean, there was obviously a verdict here.
That's right. And here, Aaron, this is the latest move by the Justice Department to take action against one of President Trump's long-standing foes. Our sources tell us that this investigation is focused on a 2022 deposition that Carroll gave, where she said that she had not received any outside funding. Now, her lawyers later told the judge that she had, in fact, received funding for legal fees and expenses from billionaire Reid Hoffman. The judge overseeing this case ultimately said there were no issues with her credibility and blocked Trump lawyers from asking about this at trial. Now, Carroll currently has multiple legal battles with Trump currently pending, including...
All right, so they explained there what the alleged legal basis for this is. And what they want to look at is when Jean Carroll said, I have not received outside funding for legal fees and litigation in a deposition. The idea is that she knew she was lying, therefore it's perjury, therefore she must be investigated. Now, there are kind of two questions here. There's the legal question and there's the political question. On the legal question, as we've talked about before, and I talked to a couple lawyers this morning, it is really difficult to prove perjury. You would have to prove that E. Jean Carroll knew and was aware in that moment that what she was saying was untrue. Now, I have no idea. Might E. Jean Carroll have been knowingly lying when she said she didn't have outside funding for her legal actions? Maybe she was lying, or maybe she didn't know. Maybe she didn't remember. Who knows? Very, very difficult to prove. Okay, but that would be the alleged legal basis. Politically, you are found liable for sexually abusing a woman, and then you launch your Justice Department against her for alleged inconsistencies about legal funding from a 2022 deposition. I don't know that that's going to impress too many people. And I know that Trump's hardcore base is loving this. You look at them on Twitter, they're like, we're finally going to get justice. This is why we elected Trump. He's going to go after the people who lied and who did this and who did that. That's the hardcore Trump MAGA base. A lot of people who see a president with the power of the Justice Department weaponizing the Justice Department against a woman you victimized sexually, that's not going to look very good. And if you think, oh, is this law enforcement? No, this is not law enforcement. This is the very same weaponization of the Justice Department that Donald Trump claimed to be a victim of. They spent years saying Biden's doing this, even though Biden had no involvement with anything that his DOJ was doing related to anybody associated with Trump. And it's another example of they are accusing others of the stuff that actually they would do. All those years when Trump was like, Biden's weaponizing the DOJ, what Trump meant was, if I were in his position, I would be weaponizing the DOJ. And if I'm ever back in Biden's position, I'm going to weaponize the DOJ. And he did. That's exactly what he has done. And it was every rally, every interview, every speech. Biden is sitting there directing prosecutions and investigations. No, that's what Trump is doing. Trump constantly said Biden was using the Justice Department to target political enemies. Trump's using the Justice Department to target political enemies and critics. And Trump claimed, I'm going to end that behavior. But he actually took something Biden wasn't doing and started doing it. And the second that Trump started giving speeches about how the Justice Department would never again be used against political enemies, the alarms went off for me of, oh, that means Trump has a plan to use the Justice Department to target his political enemies. It's almost always projection. And the truth is almost always the opposite of what Donald Trump claims. When he says we need unity, expect that it will be the opposite of unifying to have Donald Trump in power. When he wants to depoliticize political institutions, expect that he is going to politicize political institutions. When he, and by the way, loyalty tests, retaliation campaigns, all of it. So what we have now is the woman who accuses Trump of sexual assault, defeats him in court, Trump is found civilly liable for sexually abusing her. She is now being criminally investigated. Now, even if perjury is hard to prove and they don't prove it, simply being investigated by the full power of the federal government can be enough to ruin you or to ruin your life for a long period of time. And Todd Blanche, who's now the acting AG, Attorney General, and is overseeing this, Blanche was one of Trump's personal lawyers in the Carroll litigation. So the lawyer who got the short end of the stick, for lack of a better term, representing Trump in that case, Blanche represented Trump, and Trump was found civilly liable for sexual assault. Now that very same guy acting as Attorney General is going to criminally pursue the person that defeated him in court. Looks very, very bad. Now, as far as those civil judgments against him, E. Jean Carroll, I don't think she's gotten the money or almost any of the money. Trump's appealing the civil judgments. He's appealing the sexual abuse ruling. He's appealing the defamation reward that was found against him. Those appeals are going to continue. And meanwhile, E. Jean Carroll has to now fund legal work because of being targeted. Here's my hope. I hope that journalists, universities, media companies, political opponents, former officials, former friends of Trump, everybody needs to understand this is what they plan to do to anyone they can get away with it on. And one of the most important questions I believe in a democracy is, does the justice system apply equally regardless of political power? Does it apply equally regardless of personal loyalty? Does the justice system apply equally regardless of how connected you personally are to the president of the United States? I believe that most Americans are going to look at this story and see basically the same thing. The president is using the Justice Department to pursue someone he was found liable for sexually assaulting because he's so upset that she beat him. And this is how he is going to get his retribution. And I think most Americans are going to say, this is not okay. The hardcore MAGAs love it. I get it. I think most Americans do not. When we talk about privacy online, your email account may contain more detailed information about your life than anything else. Your purchases, work conversations, account logins, medical updates. Most big tech email providers do scan your inbox. They build advertising profiles around your activity, and then they target you using that data. I recommend StartMail. Our sponsor, StartMail, is a platform that functions just like the email services you're used to. No learning curve. But unlike the big tech email providers, StartMail does not scan your email. It doesn't track you. It doesn't sell your data. And you also get privacy tools that the other email providers do not offer. You can create unlimited email aliases, so you don't have to give anybody your real email address when you sign up for stuff. Super useful. You can also send PGP encrypted emails, even if the recipient doesn't use encryption. Switching to StartMail is really easy. You migrate your emails and contacts with a few clicks. Go to startmail.com/Pakman to get 50% off your first year. The link is in the description.